welcome to DMA and THEN Conference, Day 2. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. I am Nandini. I am an organizer at Sleeping Giants. We're a social media campaign dedicated to fighting racism and bigotry online.
Very cool. So talk a little bit about, dedicated to fighting racism and bigotry. How are you doing that, and what kind of tools are you tapping into?
Sure. So for the past 2 years, we've been on, 2 years ago, we started a little account on Twitter called Sleeping Giants. That's at SLPNG_Giants. And we just started to screenshot ads on Breitbart.com, which we found to be a very racist, white supremacist site, and basically just to alert brands that they were showing up on sites like this. And then over the past 2 years, through our Facebook and Twitter accounts, we've gotten over 4,000 brands and businesses to take their ads off of Breitbart. So they've all added and confirmed with us that they've taken Breitbart or put Breitbart on their blacklist.
Wow. So I imagine over the last few years you've added more blacklisted sites to your repertoire and other things that you're monitoring, or are you focused
as of
mostly
yet, we haven't, but over the past 2 years we had an opportunity to get involved with issues that we thought were very in line with our mission. So we were part of the effort to get advertisers to leave Bill O'Reilly after those sexual harassment allegations came out. We felt that advertisers shouldn't be supporting a sexual harasser, and that eventually led to the cancellation of his show. And more recently, we were involved with the whole Alex Jones controversy, seeing how Alex Jones was on platforms like Apple and Facebook and YouTube, and when we found that they were also on Spotify, we were able to convince platforms to leave as a result of conspiracy theories.
Wow, very impressive, very nice. So what brings you to the DMA conference?
I'm going to be speaking on the NRA and brand activism. So talking to brands about how they can navigate this new world where brands and consumers are demanding that brands speak up for them and speak up against racism and bigotry, either by ending their advertising relationships or partnerships with sites and content that is racist or bigoted.
Interesting. So with so many media dollars going through programmatic buys where you're not even necessarily seeing the full site list for where your ad is going to be placed, what do you recommend brands do to make sure that their content is in the right platforms?
Yeah, this is a great question. We believe that it's up to brands to take responsibility for where their ads are showing up. That means creating their own blacklists, creating whitelists potentially, and to ask companies or tech platforms like Google and Facebook to protect their brands, to create a safe environment for their brands and for users. All of these companies have terms and conditions that promise to brands that they will not be putting their ads on brand unsafe environments, and as of now they're violating those standards. So it's up to brands to demand that these tech platforms do something about it and enforce their terms and conditions.
Interesting. So what advice do you have for brands today?
My advice is to be authentic and to take a look at your own diversity and inclusion documents. A lot of companies already have diversity and inclusion initiatives at your companies, and to make sure that everything that you do at your company is in line, whether it's advertising or your partnerships, with that mission.
Now, what is one of your biggest concerns for marketers today?
I know that it's extremely difficult to navigate algorithmic programmatic ads. I think, again, that for marketers, advertising has become a little bit out of hand, or the advertising industry has become a little bit out of hand, and I think a lot of marketers don't understand their own advertising programs just because it's so expansive and so complicated. Again, I think it really comes down to asking tech companies to figure out and to be able to explain to you as a brand where your brands are showing up so that you can be in control of that. I think the lack of control is one of the most important.
The lack of control is the most important element? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, it's the most important element.
Interesting. Okay, very cool. All right, so looking into 2019, is there anything you're really excited about in the marketing landscape, or?
I'm really excited to see. I think this is going to be the year, or the coming year is going to be the year where brands start to take a stand for their users, for their customers. We've seen that happening slowly through that Nike campaign. We've seen brands start to step it up and take a stand against bigotry on behalf of their customers. I think we're going to see more of that in 2019.